I see you. I see you, Big Will in the house. I say Big Will in the house. Watch your mouth. What's up, bruh? I see you, Dean James Talley. RG in the building. Where you been, bruh? Where you go to Antarctica? I ain't seen you. Big Will says, ain't no turning back now. Let's play and complete and compete to see who's in the playoffs. Yes, sir. Senor Roja, Sports Dog in the building. I appreciate y'all guys. I love y'all guys. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Elisa says she loves the hat. Thank you, Elisa. I thought I dress up a little bit today. All right, so guys, let's get to the weather. It's a couple games that we need to talk about. Okay. The first game is going to be the Tennessee Titans in Cleveland. Now listen, we know in Cleveland it's always cold. They in Cleveland. It's just snowing though. Snow doesn't hurt the wide receivers. It doesn't hurt the quarterback per se, right? So we're not worried about snow. We're just worried about rain. That makes the ball slip. That makes running backs fumble. That makes wide receivers drop passes. Snow doesn't make you drop passes. It takes a little bit of time for the snow to melt. It's not going to be a slush game where you got the wetness and the snow. I think it just be more of cold and snow. So we good. Play your guys. Play Shadur Sanders if you need to. Play Harold Fanning. Jerry Jeudy if you need to. Tennessee Titans, I'm not playing anybody. If I need Tajay Spears as a backup running back, yes, I'll play Tajay Spears, but I'm not trying to play nobody else. I'm not trying to play DK. I'm not trying to play Alec Ayomanor. Cleveland defense is like that. All right, let's move on to another weather game. It's going to be the Indianapolis Colts at Jacksonville. So it's raining. Now, one thing I can say, it's not a lot of great weapons for Jacksonville that we're trying to get to as far as the receiving game. Jacoby Myers has been solid. We could play him here and there. Brian Thomas Jr. is playing. You know I'm playing my studs. But you might, if you can pivot, you can pivot off Brian Thomas if you got another player. Don't go to the bottom of the trash can and try to replace these players, but place them in the same tier. If they ain't in the same tier, you keep the same guys in. Going to the Indianapolis Colts, what makes me nervous is Alec Pierce. He is in my upper echelon B tier. He's that type of wide receiver. I'm nervous about him today because of the weather, but I'm probably going to play him. I don't have anybody better, right? Sometimes you got to dance with the girl that you came to the party with. Even though you might think you can do better, you can get a prettier girl. You might not be able to. Yes, sir. I see you, D Lion. Yes, sir. Sports Dog said, TD, that hat is suitable for our Green Bay weather, and you wear it well. Thank you. You know I wear a lot of stuff well. When I put that shit on, I put that shit on. When I put that shit on, I put it on now. Come on now. But let's stay focused on the game. But yeah, so I don't think you really have a lot of choices. Daniel Jones, can you pivot to a Tyrod Taylor if you want to? That's up to you. You can do that. Jonathan Taylor got to be started. Travis Etienne, I'm probably going to start him. I don't have anybody else better. My teams, I don't play in a lot of 8-team, 10-team leagues. I got one 10-team league, and there's no running backs out there, but there's some wide receivers out there that I can go and pivot to. And let me see, is any other games we need to talk about? Well, you know, the Cincinnati Bengals and the Buffalo game is going to be in Buffalo. It's going to be snowing, no rain. So that's James Cook. He going to eat. I think Chase Brown is going to be fine. And I think Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Joe Burrow are going to be fine. It's just snow. It's not ice. It's not ice. It's not rain. The ball will not be that wet. So that's the only games that I want to talk about. The rest of the games are going to be solid. They're going to be in dorms, so we don't have to worry about the weather. But again, let's talk about those games again to make sure y'all know. Tennessee, Cleveland, just know. Start your studs. If there are any studs in this game outside of the Cleveland running back and the tight end. Indianapolis Colts, Jacksonville, that's going to be a nasty game. So expect lower scoring in that game. And Buffalo, Cincinnati, just snow. It's just going to be snow. So we're not really worried about anybody dropping balls, a lot of drop balls, anything. Will it be as high scoring? No, but I've seen high scoring snow games. Okay, so let's talk about some news for this morning. Who's in, who's out? Mike Evans is out today for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's out. Looks like he's going to be returning week 15. That's for the fantasy football playoff first week. Parker Washington sidelined today. So I like Brian Thomas. I like Jacoby Myers. But it is raining in that game. Just to let you know, it is raining. Max Crosby is in line to play today. Just letting you know for the pass rush, for the Las Vegas Raiders, the pass rush. Dalton Kincaid will try to play through injuries. Dalton Kincaid will play through injuries, but I would probably not. I'd rather go to somebody else. Got a super chat from Chris Vila himself. He says, pick 2, PPR, Godwin, DJ Moore, Franklin Vele. We're going with DJ Moore over Franklin and Vele. The closest guy would be Godwin. I think DJ Moore has more upside for big plays over Godwin since Rome Odunze is going to be out, and I wanted to get to that, but right now I haven't got to that on my list. So yeah, it looks like he's going to be out. So I would play DJ Moore for the upside. Shout out to my boy JC. You've been waiting on DJ Moore, man. It's his time. It's his time. So I will go with DJ Moore and Godwin. DJ Moore and Godwin. Appreciate the super chat, Chris. Yes, we are worried about the kickers in the bad weather game, Elisa. So you need to pivot. I'm sorry, I didn't get to the kickers. I don't play in a lot of kickers leagues. So that's the number one thing when it comes to bad weather. Snow, they can push that off. But the rain, and it's going to be heavy raining in the Jacksonville game, I wouldn't play a kicker in that game. The snow games, I would play I'll probably keep my same kickers if that's been my kicker that I've been rolling with all year. Chris Olave likely to play through the injury, so he's going to be active today. Jaden Reed from the Green Bay Packers makes his return today. I still think Christian Watson is a great play. He still is the number 1 on this team. Deshaun Watson unlikely to play this season, so don't worry about Shadir getting benched for Deshaun Watson. He could get benched for Dylan Gabriel, but not Deshaun Watson. Marvin Harrison Jr. will be out today, and Greg Dortch is out. So that lets you know Michael Wilson is a top 24 wide receiver. It's hard to get him in the top 12 with all the studs there, but he is a great start this week, Michael Wilson. Let's see. Just want to see if I see anything else that's important for us to get to. Omarion Hampton is probably going to play. He's questionable for Monday, but it looks like he's going to play. So is Justin Herbert. He's questionable, but I don't want to play Justin Herbert with a broke hand. I need to see it first. So as in right now, guys, that's all the information I have for as the injuries. We're just going to have to keep coming back and to see if you got anybody else that may be out. We have to come back to it later. Just remind me, I do it before we get off the live. I'll go look and see if there are any players that got any recent news about their starting, about them playing today. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Let's get to some of these questions. Big Wheel says, ain't no, okay, we did that one already. Senor Rojas says, I'm going for last buy spot. Need 3 flex. Likely Fanning, 80 Mitchell, Burton, and Bam. Those are some good players to be choosing from, Senor Rojas. Them are some great players. Let's go with 80 Mitchell, Burton, and Fanning. Now, listen, I wanted to get Likely in there, but I couldn't. Burton with Roma Dunze being out, I think that makes Burton be a boom player, and that puts him over Likely. Was Likely only had what 2 good weeks? So I can't put Likely in, even though that's my guy. I can't tell you to sit Burton for Likely. So AD Mitchell to me is a breakout player in the 4th quadrant. So you got to play AD Mitchell for the Jets. Fanning got to play him. He's probably the top tight end with Trey McBride and Brock. Then I would probably go Fanning. Just me personally looking at the game, the way the game script is. So Fanning, AD Mitchell, and Burton. Appreciate you. Senor Roja says, who's ready for some football? Sunday football. Yes, sir. Sport Dogs at TD100. I'm hoping to seal a deal this Sunday. Bro, your team is killing it. You be worried. Bro, you gonna win the championship. Watch. I promise you. You're gonna win the championship. Your team is a killer team. Make sure you hit the like button, guys. Subscribe to the channel. This is cutting edge content. Guys, if you need a consultation, make sure you hit me up. I'm telling you, consultations are good going to the playoffs. You may think that you got everything under control, but when we actually sit down and I go through your teams with a comb, I can tell you some sleepers that you need to get on there. It's all context. Sometimes just me standing back from a camera only can give you a little bit of what I'm trying to say, because it's not going to register for your team personally. So make sure you get a consultation if you want to make sure you win in the championship. Appreciate the gift. Yes, sir. Appreciate that gift. Got another super chat from MVM. Appreciate you, bro. He says, please pick one, Vidal, Hampton, or Burton. So let me break this down for you, MVM. If you can't play Hampton and Vidal together, I don't want to pick. We not like basically what you're doing, man. This is what it seems like, and it's not for you. I just want to give context to this. Imagine you go out and you see a beautiful woman, and then she got a twin sister that comes in, and they come up to you and say, hey, we both think you're cute. Pick one of us. Which one you think gonna be the best girlfriend? You're like, I don't know. If I can't have both of you, I just want one. So I think you need to play both together, or don't play neither one of them and watch and see what happens. Now, if you are already in the playoffs and it doesn't matter, play Hampton. Why? Because he got the best draft capital. But if it matters for you, if you're playing for a seed, I would pivot off those two, stash them, see what happens tomorrow, and then I would try to get Burton into my lineup. So those are the scenarios that you got to face. Play both of them together, or pick one because you're already in the playoffs. You don't have nothing to play for. Everything is already up on the solid. Or just go to Burton. Appreciate the super chat. M81608. He says full PPR. Start 2. Walker, McLaurin, Michael Wilson, or Ibuka. We're going with McLaurin and Michael Wilson. Now listen, Michael Wilson makes me nervous a little bit, even though he got to be started. They can double team him. They can triple team him. They don't got nobody else that can throw the ball too. Somebody else going to have to break out. Trey McBride is there, so maybe Trey McBride can balance it out. But I think they try to take Michael Wilson and let the number 2 wide receiver beat him. And who knows who the number 2 wide receiver is? It's not Greg Dortch. Marvin Harrison Jr. is out. So I like McLaurin today. I'm definitely playing McLaurin. I like Walker. I wanted to tell you Walker, but I think Michael Wilson today is ranked higher than Kenneth Walker. So you're going to have to make a decision between Walker, McLaurin, and Michael Wilson. Me personally, I would play McLaurin and Michael Wilson in a full PPR league. I would play McLaurin and Michael Wilson. Lisa says TD standard, Sharps, Hunt, Marks, or Mason. Pick one, please. Let's go with Woody Marks. And the reason why we're going with Woody Marks, we know he got the backfield to himself mostly. So who's going to get the most opportunities? I think it's going to be Marks. Even though he catch passes, this is standard league. Passes don't count. Sharps is splitting with Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker's been playing pretty good the last 2 weeks. Hunt is good, but he's also splitting with Pacheco. Does Hunt get a goal line touch? I don't know. The matchup is tough against the Houston Texans. I think Marks can get a goal line touchdown quicker than anybody else. I like Marks. And then secondly, I would probably go with Sharp. Marks or Sharps. Marks I would rank him number 1. Tim J says Stafford or Hurts. I'm going with Stafford because of passing touchdowns. I think he throws for 2 passing touchdowns. Hurts, if he don't get the tush push, it's just hard for me to see Hurts get his. He can get his. I like Hurts. Me, I'm not going to have that problem. I'm not going to have Hurts and Stafford on the same team. If I do, I'm going to try to make a trade in a single quarterback league. I don't want to have that problem every week. It's kind of like almost a setup. And I'm not talking to you like you set me up or anything. I'm just saying it's no type of common denominator to take out to make a start and sit between these two guys. Stafford has played great against hard matchups. He's played bad against good matchups. Vice versa with Hurts. Dance with the girl that you came to the party with. But I'm going to go with Stafford in a vacuum. I think he targets Devontae Adams with all those touchdowns, and he also targets Puka. So I like Stafford slightly over Hurts. Senor Rojas says, screw Green Bay or burn down, baby. The infamous CHB, he says, Titty with the snow hat is going to be live. Yes, sir. Chris Vila says, Show or Roger or JJ McCarthy. Woo-wee. That's disgusting. I guess I'm going to say Rodgers. I don't feel great about it, but I got no other choice. I guess I'm going to say Rodgers. Elisa says Strange or Gaddison. Standard. We're going with Strange. Sage the Chemist says Michael Wilson or Alec Pierce for flex. Okay, so Sage, I'm going to go with Michael Wilson because of the rain. I love Alec Pierce. He's a top 12 wide receiver for me, but the rain makes me nervous. So I'm going to go with Michael Wilson. If the rain doesn't make you nervous, then play Alec Pierce. Alec Pierce is the better player, if you ask me. Eduardo, he says, happy Sunday, TD. Nico Collins or Brian Thomas Jr.? Nico Collins. Excuse me. The infamous CHB says, is Christian Watson still a must start even though Jaden Reed is coming back? Yes. He's the number 1 on that team. Chris Vila says, Pat Bryant worth a dynasty stash? Yes, he is. Sakita, what's going on? Need to start too. Who do you think is best? Devin Neal, Aaron Jones, and Woody Marks. I'm going to go with Devin Neal slightly over Woody Marks. And for the flex, whoever I didn't choose over Jacoby Myers. No. Devin Neal and Woody Marks, because of Jacoby Myers being a part of the rain game, I will put Woody Marks over him. So I will go with Devin Neal and Woody Marks. If you don't care about the rain and you don't think the rain is going to be that bad, then go with Jacoby Myers. Louise says, YouTube. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Chris Victor says, I got the bye week in Dynasty. Just need 2 more wins. Okay. Any advice? Looking at KC maybe as a Week 16 stream against Tennessee. Yes, I've been holding on to them for 5 weeks for that matchup. I've been holding on to that defense for 5 weeks for that Tennessee matchup in Week 16. against Tennessee, but I have Seattle defense play the Rams that week. No, play Kansas City against Tennessee. Play Kansas City against Tennessee. Yes, keep Kansas City. Aaron Holloway says, good morning, TD. Yes, sir. Good morning, bruh. Senor Rojo says, thanks, TD, anytime. Pastor says, Broncos fan, I'm worried about the playoffs. Our O is struggling. Yes, they are. I think y'all got a good team for the future. Their defense is ready to go now, but the offense is struggling. Bo Nix is still, pruning his tree. Louise says, I have Gibbs. My boy got Chase Burrow combo. Good thing they play at 1 p.m. so I can make my wide receiver 2 in the flex decision at 4 p.m. Managa, Franklin, Burton, Reed, got Shards, Fannin, Waller 2 at 1. So you need to get Fannin, and I would play Fannin over Waller. And between Managa for the 4 p.m. game, between Managa, Franklin, and Burton, I would go with Burton, but it's close with Managa. Managa, man, is going to probably get a goal line touchdown. Burton going to probably get 7 to 8 targets. But he could go, he's fast. He could win on a deep route. So I'm going to go Burton and Managa. You're going to have to choose between those two. I would say Burton. And then I would make sure I put Fannin. I love Waller, but I would play Fannin because he's safer than Waller. And he got touchdown upside. Hopefully that helped you out, Louise. Chris Vita said his consultations are worth it. Yes, sir. Ice Cold Jones says, should I start Sutton, Shakir, or Vidal in the flex? Also Burrow, Nix, or Donald? I would play Shakir over Sutton and Vidal. Also, I'm playing Burrow over Darnold and Nix. Burrow and Shakir. Aaron Holloway says, Christian Watson is a must-start even with both Matthew Golden and Jaden Reed are back. Yes, sir. What's going on, Brody? What's up, 7? Conscious Machine, what's up, bruh? He says, my seasons are over, but here to support the channel. Neil, Hunt, Knight, pick 2, please. 4 PPR. Thank you, Conscious. You my homeboy, bruh. Love you. He says, I would go with Neil and Knight. Neil and Knight. Fred says, yo, what up? What's your favorite player props for today? Okay. All right, let's get to these props. Appreciate everybody being patient. I got to get to these props real quick. Okay. Guys, my computer is acting crazy. Give me a second. Just give me a second. Okay. Man, this is weird. How the props is not going to pop up? All right, we're going to get this one more try. Hold up, guys. Okay, Russ. So this is what I'm going to do. Because I can't get it to pop up on my laptop. The interface is different than my cell phone. So I'm going to talk about a couple players. Okay, the first one I want to talk about is Terry McLaurin. Take his catches over. Take Terry McLaurin catches over. A.D. Mitchell. Take his catches over. R.J. Harvey. Anytime touchdown. R.J. Harvey, which is one of my favorites, is anytime touchdown. So Terry McLaurin, take his catches. Keon Coleman, you could take him for an anytime touchdown. Now listen, that's going to be good money. Anytime touchdown for Keon Coleman. I believe that's going to happen. Also, I would take him. I think he gets 3 to 4 catches. I don't know what the prop line is. I was trying to look at it at DraftKings, but it's not bringing me up the player props on my laptop. Only on my phone. I don't know what's going on. So I like the Keon Coleman to score anytime touchdown, to have catches to go over. I like Terry McLaurin to go over his catches. I like A.D. Mitchell to go over his catches. And I like R.J. Harvey for an anytime touchdown. All right, appreciate that, Frizz. 7 says Jalen Hurts or Jaden Daniels. We're going with Jaden Daniels. I don't like playing matchups with quarterbacks. I don't feel comfortable answering those questions. That's not my philosophy here on Fantasy GoodeSports, but I do it for y'all because I know y'all playing different type of leagues, and I want to be here for y'all to make sure y'all win. So I'm gonna I'm gonna answer a question that I don't like answering that way. I like Jaden Daniels, but I think when you draft a quarterback and he's a high-end guy like a Jalen Hurts, why would you ever try to play matchups with him? I mean, it's always going to be guys out there on the waiver wires that can play. So I just think it's almost like a trap. Oh, we was wrong. Of course we're gonna be wrong. We don't know what the hell the quarterback's gonna do from week to week. You get your guy and you go down with the ship. That's how I feel like you get the most out of the quarterback position. Playing the matchups, you can have a great year doing it and hit mostly. Then you can have a terrible year doing it. So I'm gonna go with Jaden Daniels. He says we get 0.5 for first down rushing plays. Okay, 6 points per passing touchdown. I will go with Jaden Daniels. Mr. G says, need a plug-in running back. Who would you pick up to start? Corn, Mason, or Chubb? Mason. Mason. Conscious Machine said, hit that like button. Yes, sir. Half Hawk says Seahawks will win the Super Bowl. I ain't mad at you. You supposed to believe in your team. Intelligente, he says, I have Hurts and Herbert in a super flex. Thinking about benching Herbert, Tua, and Sanders on my bench. I understand that, and I would probably bench Herbert, and I would probably play Sanders over him for the upside, especially in the super flex league. Would you play Tua or Sanders? Sanders. No other quarterback is available on waivers. Yes, I would play Sanders. Be growing. What's up, bruh? He says Olave or Michael Wilson. Also Strange or Mark Andrews. We're going with Strange over Mark Andrews, and we're going with Michael Wilson over Olave. Half Hawk says Seahawks will cover the spread in Atlanta. I hope so. Derek Dort says Michael Wilson, Chris Godwin, or Kenneth Walker. PPR need one. Let's go with Michael Wilson over Godwin. It's close. Kenneth Walker is a good play too, but Michael Wilson, man, with no Greg Dortch, no Marvin Harrison Jr., you almost trapped off the plan. You kind of trapped off the plan. Jay Moore, what's up? He says, does the rain affect kickers looking for a decent play? Yes, it does. The rain does affect kickers. That doesn't mean they won't make it, but it's harder because you're kicking out at the ground off of a wet ground, which makes the ball kind of not sit stable on top of the ground. Martin Torres says, in flex, who should I start? Keon Coleman or Tutin? Man, I'm going to get a little, listen, I'm going to give you the cute answer, and then I'm going to give you the safe answer. And you probably already know how I'm going to break that down since I said what I said. It's going to be Keon Coleman. I really like Keon Coleman. I think Buffalo needs him, but doesn't mean it's going to happen. No. Tutin is safe. He's going to get some goal line carries. If you just need something safe, at least 8 to 10 points, Tutin. But if you need some upside, I think Coleman is the way. If you already made and you're just trying to find a player to put in, Keon Coleman is easy. If you need to win to get in, I don't know if I could play Keon Coleman to get in if I needed, if just how big it was for me this week. Tutin just safer. He's been getting goal line touchdowns. I think he got about 5 or 6 touchdowns this season. Fred says Myers or Sutton. I'm going with Sutton because of the rain game for Myers. Derek Dort says Bo Nix, Jaden Daniels, Brissett. I'm going with Jaden Daniels over Bo Nix and Brissett, even though Bo Nix got a great matchup. Last time, the Las Vegas Raiders shut him down. Jay Moore says, hold up. Okay. I just want to make sure the live, guys, let me know if the live is lagging or something. I see people leaving out the chat, so I don't know. Jay Moore says, no choice but to start Hampton with Henderson and Rico on a bye. Okay. Real question, who gets the green zone touches? We don't know, bruh. We don't know. We would think it's going to be Hampton. He's the bigger bat. He's tough. Look what happened with Bucky. Bucky got his goal line touches back. So I would think it would be Hampton, but we don't know. Vidal's played really well. Guys, when I make these breakdowns, I don't guess and say, you know what, I think it's Vidal just because I think it's going to be Vidal. My gut tells me that. No, I actually look at the game and then I go with my gut once I'm looking at the game. I haven't saw Hampton play with Vidal the way Vidal's been playing this year, so I have no clue. I would guess, if you ask me to make an educated guess, I would say it would be Hampton. Kurt Wood says Tyler Warren or Sutton in the flex. I will go with Tyler Warren. McBride, my main tight end. Yes, I can see you playing Tyler Warren over a guy like Sutton. Aaron Holloway says, I got Baker, Bucky, Kyron, Strange, Christian Watson, Devontae Smith, Chris Olave, and my opponent had JSN, Aaron Jones, Jordan Addison, Dallas Goedert. He already played Javonte Williams and CD already. Yeah, you got a great chance, man. You got Bucky, Kyron. Strange got a good matchup today. Even though it's going to be raining, you got Christian Watson. Olave's been getting a lot of targets. I think you got a chance to win the game. He got Dallas Goedert and Jordan Addison. Those guys haven't been playing that well. Aaron Holloway says, who wins from each game? All right, let me pick the games real quick. I think that's what you're asking me. I'm going with Seattle over Atlanta. I'm going with Cleveland over Tennessee. I'm going with Washington over Minnesota. I'm going with Miami over New York. I'm going with Tampa Bay over New Orleans. I'm going with Indianapolis over Jacksonville. I'm going with Baltimore over Pittsburgh. I'm going with Buffalo over Cincinnati. I'm going with Denver over Las Vegas Raiders. It could be a trap game. Be careful. It could be a trap game. I'm going with Green Bay over Chicago. I'm going with the Rams over Arizona. I'm going with Kansas City over Houston. And I'm going with Philly over the Los Angeles Chargers. Fred says Kyle Monaga or Devin Neal. In a full PPR league, I will go with Devin Neal. In a standard league, I'm going with Kyle Monaga. Derek Dort says Tyler Sharp, CJ Stroud, or JJ McCarthy. We're going with CJ Stroud. B Silver says, I have a tough decision in removing Jaden Reed out of my IR spot. Should I drop him or drop him over Kareem Hunt, Charbonnet, Luther Burton, Woody Marks? I would drop him. I would drop Jaden Reed. You can drop Hunt or Reed, but I probably would drop Reed. I'm not dropping no running back. You need these running backs in case somebody go down. Derek says, my bad, add Tyrod Taylor to that list. Still, I might go with Tyrod Taylor over CJ Stroud. Yes, sir. I would go with Tyrod Taylor over CJ Stroud. Derek Dort says Michael Wilson or Christian Watson. Man, that's a tomato. Most people are going to have Michael Wilson ranked a little bit higher. I like Christian Watson personally, but I can't sit here and disrespect you and tell you to play Christian Watson over Michael Wilson with the great matchup. Well, I won't say great matchup, but with the situation that he has. I mean, there's no other wide receivers that really going to be, he got to compete for targets for. I mean, he should be primed and ready for a 10-target game. So I got to go with Michael Wilson over Christian Watson, even though Christian Watson is one of my favorite players in the NFL. Chris Villa says, better dynasty staffs, Burton or Jaden Higgins? Burton. Ice Cold Jones has got one more player left in the flex. Should it be Hunt, Vidal, or Sutton? Appreciate you, bro. I would do Sutton over Vidal and Hunting. Over Vidal and Hunt. I would go with Sutton over Vidal and Hunt. Jumpin' J says full PPR, start Genty or JJ. I would start Genty. I hate to say it over Justin Jefferson, but I would start Genty over JJ. Sport Dog says TD100. I'm running with Warren and Rodriguez in my RB spots, but I have marks between Marks and Rodriguez. Who is the better wide receiver out of the backfield? Rodriguez, because of that offense. The Washington Commanders has a really good offense when Jaden Daniels is there. They have struggled a couple times since his rookie season, but usually they putting up 21 points. If I believe they can put up 21 points, and I think Rodriguez gets a touchdown. Marks is a guy who can catch passes. He hasn't really been scoring a lot of touchdowns. Rodriguez, to me, is a better touchdown scorer. Remember, you chase the touchdowns far as when you got two players that you're trying to pick. Who's getting the goal line touches? Who's going to be scoring those touchdowns? Rodriguez, to me, because of Nick Chubb and other circumstances, I think Rodriguez would be better. So I'm going to go with Rodriguez. What's going on, ODR? 7 says, I drafted Jaden, made trades for Jalen. I got you. I understand. And sometimes, bro, and I'm going to tell you, this is just my advice. I wouldn't trade for a quarterback. Once I got my quarterback, I'm good. And I know this, that may sound disingenuous, and you don't have to listen to me. This is not, I'm not trying to convince you. I'm just going to tell you what I'm going to stand on. I could change something. I could change next year. So I'm not going to sit there and say this is in stone. But I just believe, man, it's not that I'm trying to run from the stars and sits, brother. I love tough stars and sits. I want to be recognized for making a great start. I love that shit. But I want to be, look at the whole, I want to stand out from it and look at it. Because it's hard to make a decision when you in it. You stand out of it and say, well, why am I going to sit there and try to choose between these two guys? Jaden, they played Kansas City. Jalen Hurts went off. He played Tennessee. He had a bad game. Vice versa with the other quarterback. There's no rhyme or reason. The only way, just like I could sit Lamar this week, right? And go to another player. But to me, I'm not doing it. I'm going to keep playing Lamar because I believe in his talent and I'm willing to lose with that. I don't put other players up to other players because it makes it hard to be able to get to a J-Mo. Imagine if I had to make a start and sit decision with J-Mo. I don't know when I would have maybe played in one of his good games, but at other times I wouldn't have made that decision. So I would play Jaden Daniels, but do I feel like Jaden Daniels is going to outscore Jalen Hurts and it's going to be an easy start to sit this decision? No, it's not. Judah says Gaddison or Loveland for the tight end. I'm going with Loveland. Aaron Holloway says start Strange despite the bad weather. It's going to be a thunderstorm or start Darren Waller. I would start Darren Waller in that situation. I like Strange, but I would go with Darren Waller in that situation. Kurt Wood says Tyler Warner, Sutton in the flex, got McBride. I will go with Tyler Warner. I did that earlier. Sometimes, guys, you got to wait a little bit or you got to super chat. Intelligente says, would you play P. Ryan or Rashad White? This is a deep league. Okay. Probably P. Ryan. I would probably play P. Ryan. Catch Takeover says start Hampton McLaurin or Alec Pierce. I'm going to go with McLaurin slightly over Hampton. I love Alec Pierce too. But McLaurin with the bad weather game is better than Alec Pierce. And Hampton, we don't know. Vidal and him are going to be splitting. So I'm going with McLaurin, who I know is going to lead that team in targets today. Big Will says Vidal or Corm. I'm going with Vidal. Frank says Olave, Waddle, or Michael Wilson, or McConkey, or Pierce. Pick 3. I'm going with McConkey, Michael Wilson, and Olave. I hate to sit Pierce, but it's the bad weather. That's the only reason why I'm telling anybody to sit Alec Pierce. It's all about the weather. In my matchup, but you can pick the games. Okay. Who's going to win? So hey, Aaron Holloway, this is what I want you to do. I'll scroll to the bottom. Because you're a member. Put the question in there together. Like, let me know what you're saying. Like, put your team and say, TD, pick these matchups to help me out, bro. I got a lot going on. Thank you. Mobley says Strange or Waller and DK or Pierce. Much love, bro. Mobley, I would play Waller over Strange because of the weather. And DK or Pierce, I probably would go with DK over Pierce because of the weather. Now, listen, I'm giving the power to y'all. If the weather, listen, last week, I think a couple weeks ago, was with the Cleveland Browns, and that weather wasn't that bad. Now, the wind was bad, but the weather wasn't as bad as they said it was. So, the weather might not be that bad, so be careful with that. Keep paying attention. I'm giving y'all the starts and sits, and I'm giving you context about, well, listen, I like Strange, but it's because of the weather. So you're going to have to go on and see, okay, the weather, they said it ain't that bad. Actually, it's doing this right now. The game good with it start in 15 minutes. You might want to go with Strange. Waller is a really good tight end. Waller's going to probably get a touchdown today, guys. Just want to let you know that, too. So don't feel bad about playing Waller over Strange, but if you have to go to another tight end, it could get bad. Fannin and Waller are my 2 favorite tight ends this week. Frank Wright says Burrow or Mahomes. I'm going with Burrow. McLaurin on Michael Wilson, pick 1. I'm going with McLaurin over Michael Wilson. I'm going with McLaurin over Michael Wilson. I think McLaurin's going to have a big game today. I like Michael Wilson too. It's close. Michael Wilson's going to get all the targets, but I think he can be shut down. He don't got that much help. Senor Warhol said, is Benson done for the season? Is Bam the running back to hold over the other 2? Yes, Bam is the one to keep, and Benson probably won't play the rest of the season. They say he's still hurt. He had a setback. Frank Wright says, JJ Show or Sanders. We're going with Sanders. He says Jaden Daniels, Mayfield, or Herbert. We're going with Baker Mayfield. Frank Wright says Warren or Neal. I'm going with Neal in full PPR. In standard, I will go with Warren. Neal's going to catch a lot of passes, at least 4 passes today. Derek says Godwin or Lad McConkey, bro. I'm going with Godwin over Lad McConkey. Hey, Aaron, make sure you put that question back down there, bro, before we get out of here. Intelligente says Houston struggles running the ball in the red zone. I can't start Marks with no touchdowns. I get that. That's why I always talk about him catching passes. He can have a big play, too. He can have a big play. But I get that. That's a nice little stat right there. He does. They don't score that many touchdowns. Chris Fiddler says, A.D. Mitchell, Jaden Higgins, Loveland. Which one of these players would you drop PPR Dynasty contending team? I would drop Jaden Higgins. I would drop Jaden Higgins. All right, I'm trying to give about a minute, 30 more seconds. I'm waiting on my homie Aaron Holloway. If he want to, you can put that question at the bottom. That way I know what, I want to make sure I get to your question, bro. Paul says start Cleveland. Tight end Fannin. Yes, sir, Paul. Start him. Yes. Fannin, I love Fannin this week. I would rank, to give you my tight end rankings, it would be Trey McBride, Brock Bowers, and then I would probably put Fan in there. Fan is in my top 5 this week. And then I would put Darren Waller would probably be 5 or 6. I got Likely in the top 12. Yes, sir, Paul. Jay Rogers says Lamar, Baker, or Jordan Love. Let's listen. Lamar, that's my bias. That's the guy that I got on all my teams that I'm making a decision on, but I'm not going to put that on you. The professional decision would be Baker. Patty cake, Baker's man. Roll around, throw him in the pan. Baker Mayfield. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mike said, G, you like Ladd or Warren in the flex? Who is that Warren? Is that Tyler Warren or is that Jalen Warren? If that's Jalen Warren, I would go with Ladd over Jalen Warren. Now, listen, man, I'm going to be honest. I don't like the quarterback situation, but that is Ladd. He should lead that team in targets. And they probably run the ball a lot more than they've been doing it. They can't protect Justin Herbert. But they can't protect Justin Herbert that much. But Warren, I think the Baltimore Ravens come in here and shut that run down. That's what they're good at. You're going to have to pass the ball against the Baltimore Ravens. Paul says, what about Kincaid, tight end from the Bills? No. Listen, he could get a touchdown, man, but we trying to get to something that we can, have something that we can have in concrete. And I think the Cleveland tight end, Fannin, is a better guy. He's been playing well for the last 5 or 6 weeks. Hit the like button, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. This is cutting edge content. Anytime, Paul. Anytime. All right, guys. Well, listen, I'm going to get ready to get out of here. Y'all be safe. I'll see y'all later. Okay, hold on. Mike says, yo, you like Sutton or Scary Terry? I like Scary Terry. I like Scary Terry over Sutton. I like Burton too, Paul. Yes, sir, Big Will. I say Big Will in the house. I say Big Will in the house. Watch your mouth. Yes, wide receiver Chicago, he is a start. He is a great wide receiver 3 this week. Or flex play. Burton is good. Yes, sir, Paul. Anytime, bruh. All right, guys, y'all be safe. Peace.